Welcome back, Nick Lenz Movie Review, episode number 128. This I'm reviewing the second Captain America film, and this is also the ninth film release for the MCU, Captain America, the Winter Soldier. Yep, and I know some people might ask me about this, about the Scarlett Johansson, how she's depicted in this picture, which I saw there was a version of this image where they apparently have her waist be too, like, they apparently drew her like she's a freaking twig. Yeah, I have no idea why that is. But let's talk about who is back in this movie. Like, this movie brings back a bunch of new characters who were not previously in the previous movie, but they were featured in Avengers. This film sees the return of Chris Evans as Captain America, Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury, Scarlett Johansson as the Black Widow, and Kobe Smulders as Maria Hill, and Haley Atwell as Peggy Carter, though she's aged up. Yeah, this by far was really dumb for the movie to do. Like, they apparently couldn't cast an old lady, so they just put Haley Atwell in old lady makeup. Yeah, I do agree this is a dumb idea. It's like, what's wrong with casting an older actress? I mean, you do it for Howard Stark, why can't you do it for Peggy Carter? No idea. It's particularly one of the most strangest things. Now, aside from these four returning characters, we get a bunch of new characters who make their live action debut in this very film. We have the debut of Sharon Carter, who is the niece of Peggy Carter. They don't confirm this until the very next film. Brock Rumlow, aka Crossbones. Batroc the Leaper, who's played by an MMA fighter who actually really is. He's Canadian. He's French Canadian. I think he's played with George Barak. I think his name is the name of the guy who plays Batroc the Leaper. Though he doesn't have the silly mustache he's known for having. Yeah, he doesn't have it at all, which is quite interesting. We also did the live action debut of Strike, which in the comics was the British counterpart to S.H.I.E.L.D. In the movie, they're an actual, like, Black Ops team for frickin' S.H.I.E.L.D. We also see the return of Joseph Sitwell, which I believe this is his second appearance in the movies, if I think so. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think this is his second appearance. Because he does return for another movie. Yep, let's see. Who plays Batroc the Leaper? He is played by Jordan St. Pierre. Oh yeah, they also bring back Jasper, Senator Stern from Iron Man 2, where they reveal something interesting about him. Arnold Zola. Yes. Now, aside from the new characters, Alexander Pierce, who actually is not what they did to him in the movie. Yeah, he is not an agent of what I'm going to review in a minute. We also see the return of Bucky. Now, aside from Cap, the only person appeared in the previous Captain America movie, aside from Cap and Peggy, is, of course, Sebastian Stan, the Winter Soldier, which, unless you read the comic books, you would not know that he was a Winter Soldier. Yeah. Because this movie is loosely based upon the Winter Soldier storyline. Yep, it is. Yep. Oh yeah, there's one very important character who makes his live action debut in this film. The Falcon. Yep. He makes his debut in the film. And you give him the ultimate version of himself. They give him that costume. Even though I've heard something that Anthony Mackie, the guy who played the Falcon, he actually really wanted to put on the spandex in the comics, but nope. He never got a chance to. Okay, before I get to the film, you're probably asking about the suit Captain America's wearing in the movie. Like, is this suit that he wore in the comic books? The answer is yes, he did. But he wasn't Captain America at that point. No, he basically gave that identity to his former sidekick, Bucky Barnes, aka the Winter Soldier, who was Captain America from 2006 to 2011. During that period of time, Cap was wearing this particular outfit. This is his Commander Rogers outfit that he wore from 2010 to 2011. He only wore this suit for over a year. And then after they made a live act, they pretty much made a black version Nick Fury in the comics. They had him pretty much wear this outfit for a certain period of time. He would occasionally go back to wear this outfit now and again, but after that 1 year of having it, he went back to wearing Captain America costume. So here is his definitive costume for the first half movie until he puts on his World War II costume. Yep. Now, also, when they first see Nick Fury in the movie, he is wearing a Mandarin collar coat. Why the heck he's doing this, I have no idea. Now, the film starts off with now, Batroc, I should point out, though, is played by M.A. Fighter, and the fact that he's French. I do appreciate the fact they actually did that. Because Batroc is known for, well, his specialty is the French boxing of Lafitte, is Salvet. It is the French boxing of kicking. Yeah, basically a martial artist. Yep. So, basically, Cap and Black Widow are up to rescue hostages, and which strike with Brock Lesnar before he turns into Crossbones. Because he's not Crossbones. He's just Brock Rumlow, the leader of Strike. Yeah, and Black Widow's got her own thing going on. She's basically taking out some goons, and she also down some information. Yeah, apparently Cap knew nothing about this at all. Yeah, which he does confront Nick Fury about this when he sees him later. So he even has himself a fight with Batroc. Pretty damn good fight, and I would say it's a lot better than his fight with another character who he's fought in the comic books multiple times in Age of Ultron. We'll talk about him, who actually makes his debut in this film, by the way. Yep. Along with like two other characters make their MCU debut in this film. I'll talk about them. I'll talk about them soon. So after they take out the terrorist, pretty easily, we have Batroc show up one more time after this in video footage, and that's it. It gives implied he got away, but yeah, he gets captured, and then he's never seen again. Bye bye, Batroc. Thank you, appearing for 2 scenes. Yep, and then pretty much like right after that, like as soon as he gets back, he goes to Shield headquarters, which is not the helicarrier for some reason. No, in the comic books, it was the main helicarrier was their headquarters. In the film, it's the Triskelion. Yes, which unlike in the comics, where it's an artificial island off the coast of New York, in the movie, it's an island in the middle of the Potomac. Yep, that's the way it is with the Triskelion. I at least got to praise the fact it actually looks like the Triskelion from the comic books. Yeah, I got at least got that's high praise that desires. So basically, baseness on the Triskelion, yes, a thing that's from the Ultimate Comic Universe. Though it has since made appearance in the regular comic universe and the book known as The Ultimates by Al Ewing. He brought that thing into the MCU, into the regular comic universe. Yep, and well. And of course, Cap does talk to Nick Fury about how, like, he can't go on a mission if one of his teammates has another mission in mind. Yeah, he doesn't appreciate the whole keeping secrets thing. Yeah, he doesn't like that at all. And of course, Nick Fury, yeah, it's not exactly the same as it used to be way your time. And they take an elevator down, and of course he mentions though that even like, of course, Cap brings even he agree, even Cap both agree. Remember when the elevators used to have music? I bet many elevators I've never heard of actually play music. So he talks a little about his father. Basically, he was an elevator guy. He just basically just hired people, and then later on he's like carrying a gun. And what's below the Triskelion? 3 helicarriers, which apparently are built to be permanently in the air. Though another organization has their plans for these particular helicarriers. Yeah, apparently Tony Stark had a hand in designing their propellers. Yes, probably because of the events of Avengers. Yeah, but I don't think even Tony Stark knew what the heck was going on with this. Yeah, so basically it's just meant to take out a target from like a million miles away. Cap doesn't like this at all, so he's against it, but he's not arrested for it just because he's against this particular project. So he goes home, sees Sharon, who is a nurse, despite actually being a shield agent, met the babysit Captain America, just like he's in the comics, goes to his apartment, does sit down, and then he's attacked by then of course, we have it where the Winter Soldier shows up at his apartment. Yeah, the Winter Soldier. Actually, no, it wasn't Winter Soldier. It was basically Nick Fury who breaks into his apartment. Somehow he loves doing this. Yeah, I'm trying to remember stuff. It's been a while since I've seen this. Let's see. Oh yeah, and also like I forgot to mention before the whole mission with the ship. But before that, the scene movie actually opens with Cap just running up in front of Lincoln Memorial doing a track with Sam Wilson. They talk for a while and the fact their experiences with various the being in the military and then of course like looking for two old dinosaurs. Like, is that for you? It's like, yeah, that's for me. Yeah, that's what leads into that mission. And this is not the last time we see Sam. Though he doesn't return for quite a while. He doesn't return to like much later in the movie. About halfway through the movie where he doesn't show up. He shows up again. Yep. So let's see if I remember. Let's see if I forget anything. Oh yeah, they introduced Alexander Pierce along the return of the World Security Council. Yep, they make their second and, to my knowledge, this is their last appearance making movies because at this movie they don't return after this. No, not really. The World Security Council does not return after this at all, though you actually can see the most of their face, except for the guy in the middle. This guy was later to be Gillian Malik, who showed up in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as a recurring villain on the series, where he revealed to be the last head of. I'll get to that. So, they. So, Nick Fury tends to question like delay of projects because he gets a little nervous about it. And apparently, Alexander Pierce is like the secretary. Like, I don't think he's the UN secretary. He's some position. He's probably Robert Redford, who's now playing villains. So, yep. So after having a conversation with him, he just that's when he gets attacked and he ends up in Cap's apartment, and that's when Winter Soldier shows up. Yep, though he's in mask. Though he managed to knock off the goggles off his face, doesn't knock off the mask covering the bottom of his mouth. That's not revealed to be later. Yeah, then of course, then he goes to Shield headquarters, talk to Alex and Pierce, me for the first time, and of course he mentions about a conversation with Jacob Veitch. Yeah, Jacob Veitch, believe it or not, is actually an alias of Nick Fury's. Apparently, it was on beach property. Yeah, there's nothing much to this scene at all, and it's a very brief little scene. And apparently, Pierce's, I think it's his grandfather actually served with Captain America, so he knows who he is. Yep. And then eventually he just goes off, and apparently he has information about Nick Fury. Is it like, oh yeah, Nick Fury's message basically says don't trust anybody. Yeah, and apparently Cap goes off, just drives off his motorcycle. Eventually they try to take him out, but they fail. And everybody else is a lot of people like wondering like what the heck is going on. It's like put order out, and Captain America's like, and of course Sharon's like, why are we going after him for? He has information about the death of Nick Fury. He's a super fugitive from S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah, a lot of people basically, if you watch the scene, like they're very confused about this. I mean, this is Captain Frickin' America, a war here, and you're basically having him wanted. Eventually, he meets up with the Black Widow, just cause, and they decide to I'm trying to remember basically because it's been a while. Because after this, I kind of forget what happens. I have to look it up here. Let's see if I forget anything. So yeah, that's what he meets up with. Oh yeah, and also Fury gets attacked in the middle of DC over asking the reason why he's at Cast Farm because he's wants to meet with Maria Hill. So yeah, he gets attacked. He gets away pretty easily. This was basically a scene of tease on the trailer. See, I'm trying to remember the best I can for this movie. Yep. So they go out. So they go and they go to a mall and they find out where Project Insight gets some of the computer data from. And it's at a place in New Jersey. So Cap and Black Widow steal a truck and There's this funny little scene when they're in the mall before they get to the thing. It's like, yeah, Widow and Cap just basically like just kiss me, okay, and they make out, and well, it's so funny. He's like, and of course Widow's like, is that your first kiss? It's 1945, and he's like, yeah, it is. Though in case you're wondering, no, Steve Rogers and the Black Widow do not hook up in the comic books at all. She does hook up with a Captain America. She hooks up with Bucky frickin' Barnes, who she has interacted with the movie, barely. Eventually, at one point, Cap gets into a fight with the Winter Soldier, which is revealed to be Bucky Barnes, as he knocks him out. He's like, Bucky? And he's like, and Winter Soldier's like, who's Bucky? And then after the fight with them, and then he goes back to his own like place where he was kept in hibernation, and then he's told by Pierce, apparently, who's his handler, and this is where the cameo by Ed Brubaker comes in. Yeah, he's the guy with the beard. And he tells him, wipe him. And he puts things in his mouth and he wipes his memory. Yeah, they screw him up in this particular scene. It's a very uncomfortable scene to watch. Yeah, all because he's so to remember his time as an army officer. Yeah, as for the reason for this, well, I'll reveal that soon. So Cap and Widow go to New Jersey. They actually go to, believe it or not, the camp from the previous movie, which apparently has been closed. I would think, though, because Captain America's celebrity, they would basically have tours of the place where he actually trained. Yep. And of course, it was like, oh yeah, this is the place where Captain America was born. It's like, no, this is the place where I trained. So he points out, though, a particular bunker that a soldier that's actually not supposed to be near. That I think it's the ammo depot. According to him, military regulators said this cannot be within I think 20 yards of the bunks, basically where the soldiers sleep. They can't be that close. So he goes, yeah, it's a fake, and he opens up, and this is where, apparently, like an early version of this is probably where Shield started, and then we see like another door open, and you see like a big, humongous computer room, and there's a nod to War Games here. Yes, a movie with Matthew Broderick. Yeah, and of course he talks about it, and Cap's like, yeah, I've seen it. He probably has some time to go see it. He talks to the computer, and it basically builds the computer, and who's in the computer? This is where Arnim Zola comes in. Yep, he's become his comic book counterpart in a way. Though he's not a freaking robot, but yeah, he's basically faced a computer screen. Yep. Excuse me, he's like this since his debut, though he's usually in a robot body. Of course, he reveals that he was recruited by S.H.I.E.L.D. after World War II, after he was arrested, and he's basically been slowly planting seeds for the return of Hydra. Yes, Hydra's revealed to be back, and apparently Inside is basically pet project of theirs. And so they get info, and of course, the place is basically blown up by Hydra, aka S.H.I.E.L.D. Well, S.H.I.E.L.D. was revealed to be Hydra. Though they kind of get this confused in the Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV. They're like, oh yeah, we're Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Oh, you mean Hydra? Yeah, I guess I got that so confused. So they team up with the Falcon, who basically gets him info, basically like Alpha Place saying, of course, he offers his resume to team up with them. They're like, but we have to stop someplace first. We have to get something. Okay, what is it? His wings, basically his suit. And then they need with Jasper Stilwell. Yeah, this is what I thought was so funny. Yeah, it's like Stilwell's like coming out of a restaurant. It's like, and you have Sam's like calling him up. It's like, hello, Mr. Stilwell. Did you enjoy your lunch? Yes. Perhaps you should come with me. Why? That's a very nice tie. And yeah, and of course Widow has got a laser pointer on his tie, and then they basically drag him to a rooftop, and this is where he mentions the Hulk and Doctor Strange. Yeah, but basically targets on the list. Yeah, and apparently Zola taught S.H.I.E.L.D. how to read the digital playbook. And I thought this was so funny. The fact that, oh yeah, like he's like some people building his Nitro style. Of course, yeah, it's not mine, but it's hers. And of course he throws him off, and he's picked up by freaking Falcon. I thought it was so funny. Eventually, they decide to try to bring him in for more info, until the Winter Soldier attacks. Yep, that's when he freaking attacks. And that's when they reveal the whole thing of him being Bucky. They get away, and well, then they basically meet up with Nick Fury. Well, actually, first they apparently get arrested, and then they're basically brought to be sort of killed and like sort of be executed. But lucky enough, they're in a vehicle with Maria Hill. So Maria Hill knocks out the people in the truck with them, who's not the three people there. So they meet up with Nick Fury, who's actually alive, despite apparently being killed. Yep, he's alive and well. It's like, of course, they gotta mention like we gotta save. She's like, no, we gotta shut everything down. He can probably reveal everything later. Like saying this is the end of Shield. So basically, Cap's go to the Smithsonian, a place they visited previously in the movie, which that was the very same scene where he visited the Smithsonian, sees his own exhibit. That's why I reveal Ellis's first name be Matthew, and he goes to the museum second time and he steals his own uniform, and he had the hilarious Stanley Chemist, which at the time was one of his favorite cameos, and he says, "I am so fired." All because the Captain America costume disappeared. It's so hilarious. And then you see Cap basically walking up to SHIELD headquarters with his uniform. So he managed to break in, thanks to, of course, Maria Hill and the Black Widow. Nick Fury comes in later on a freaking helicopter like a freaking badass because of Samuel Jackson. And he goes on the intercom and says, yeah, apparently we've been infiltrated by Hydra, and the people who are associated with Hydra are basically Strike and Project Insight. I don't know. Oh yeah, and their head is, and the head of Hydra is Alexander Pierce. And of course, the World Security Council, most of them anyways, are here, with the exception of like one, because Black Widow disguised was one of them. I thought this was so funny. And he's like, you set us up. Okay, yeah, this was so funny. Yeah, and then of course, he kills pretty much all of them except for like one or two. Eventually, he gets the thing off thanks to the little device that she used on Bucky previously, the wood soldier on his middle arm. He gets the thing off her, and of course, after they basically leak all the info SHIELD to the internet, which apparently is a nod to something that happened in real life when this film prior to release. Yeah, the whole leak of information thing. Yeah, believe it or not, this is actually a nod to real life. When Edwin Snowden decided to leak a bunch of info from the NSA to the World Wide Web, and he had to flee the country. Yes. That's what the scene is based on. It's based upon Edwin Snowden, a guy who leaked NSA stuff to the internet. Yeah, that is basically partially based. It's referred to as NSA leaks, but Edwin Snowden basically was known for doing that. And now he's currently living in Russia. And he makes his living making $100,000 via video calls to do like teaching classes, paying $100,000 per class. Yep. So yeah, the helicarriers get brought to the air by force. Yeah, and of course Sharon's like standing around, is like, hey, and then of course they're shooting up, and of course they get the helicarriers in the air. Of course they have to play these chips on there. Of course, Nick Fury, of course, kills Alexander Pierce. Now, I talked to you about this particular scene. Like, him doing this it's fine. It's not really a big problem. I mean, yeah, Pierce is the main villain in the movie, but it is something, though, he did get a chance to fight. Of course, Falcon gets a chance to fight with Crossbones, a character he has fought in the comic, which this scene was perfectly fine. Yeah, and of course, almost forgot to mention this. When Cap had escaped from the Tresca before, they had this elevator scene. And then you have everyone pile up in there. He's like, anyone get out? And they, of course, there's a big brawl, beats up everybody in the elevator. And they try to basically take him to custody. And that's when he gets away. Yeah, but the elevator scene is probably by far the most one of the most exciting moments of the whole movie. And then, of course, they get on top of they get up there, and they take a bunch of Hydra goons. And, you have Cap fighting Winter Soldier on one ship. And Cap basically puts the ship on two of the ships. Sam puts on one of the ships, not much of a problem. And Maria Hill basically has to make sure the signals go through. And eventually the thing are basically targeted at each other. At the change targets. Yeah, apparently targets was apparently to take out they were going to take about 3 million people, including the president, and apparently one of the targets was going to be Stark Tower, which has the A on it now, which is his second appearance in the movies. Yeah, it makes appearance in 2 of the movies after this one. It appears in Age of Ultron and Endgame. Not Endgame, Homecoming, and I think that's it. Yep. So yeah, they bring down the SHIELD helicarriers. Yep. They fire at each other, and they drop right in the middle of Potomac, which I've talked to somebody about this. Yeah, we do agree. This is the most shocking scene in the whole movie, which apparently revealed in the Civil War that apparently this also caused some civilian deaths. Which I don't think Cap even knew about that at all. Nope. So eventually Bucky gets out. He fights him, but he gets him off the ship. Of course, he drops his shield while he's at, but he's able to drop out. Yeah, and of course he's punching him. He's like, he's like with you to the end, basically between the line from the previous movie. They basically both fall out there, and of course Bucky saves Cap, and of course he's later seen a post-credit scene reading his own bio. And let's see if Bucky apparently is growing a beard after this. Cap, of course, gets out, and of course you have Widow basically testifying on Capitol Hill. It's like, where's Captain America? Like a, and of course he pretty much is like, why shouldn't we throw you in jail? Because we're the good guys. We actually try to save people. And of course that's when they have the massive thing of FBI agents arresting a bunch of known Hydra, basic people associated with Hydra, including Senator Stern. Yep. So they basically Widow gets info about the Winter Soldier. Yeah, basically the info revealed of how the heck he became the way he is that how he survived is quite interesting. Apparently his arm got blown off and Armzilla was involved with it. Well, basically reprogramming him, giving him his metal arm, and bring it every 10 years to do some assassinations here and there. And giving him his look that he has in the movie, which, yeah, this actually is look got from the comic books. Yep, but the Red Star, though the Russians themselves have nothing to do with becoming the Winter Soldier in the first place. And there's no mention of the Red Room in here. Nope. Yeah, so in the film they reveal the Hydra was responsible for turning Bucky Barnes into the Winter Soldier, when in the comics it was the Communists. Yep, the Russians did this to him. Yeah. It's a minor change, but the ending of the original story ended completely differently. They'll use the ending of that story for the next film, Captain America Civil War. I may have missed a few things facility, but yeah, this movie is fantastic. And like, unlike the first two films with having Phase 2 rough start to it, this is definitely where Phase 2 gets better. Give this movie a 9 out of 10. Now, the thing is, I almost forgot to mention this, that Romulo does survive his fight with the Falcon. Yeah, of course, he's also trying to run away from the collapsing helicarrier. He survives in order to show up in the next movie. Yep, shows up in the next movie. I'll reveal what happens and when I'll talk about Captain America Civil War. Yep, but not the next director movie. This comes up about 2 years later. Which I saw this movie. When this film came out, this actually came around my birthday a few years ago. Yeah, about 5 years ago this movie came out. Yeah, it came out close to my birthday, so my friends took me to see this movie as a birthday present. Yeah, great birthday present, guys. See an awesome movie. Yep, so that's it for this particular review. Stay tuned for our review of the newest episode of Boruto and the movie, which will review in the fourth film of Phase 2. Guardians of the Galaxy. Yep. Produce the next few. Bye.